Hi there, Ronnie here, coming at you with a video. Been a while. Lots going on. Free RPG Day was last weekend. Bit of a mixed bag for me. Firstly, I had a game ready to run, arrived, ready to play, and didn't get any. Well, I say didn't get any players. One person, Adrian, said that if I needed to make up numbers, he would have jumped in. But unfortunately, I don't know if it was due to COVID or the fact that I was using rather a sort of unknown system. Whatever the reason, it didn't quite hit off and I didn't get to run anything. However, I did turn up with the intent to run, so I did get a pack. And I'm going to show you the stuff that was in the pack. Now, some of this stuff I'm keeping, some of it's getting sent elsewhere, but I'll explain as I go. So, first and foremost, there is this. I have no idea what it is. None whatsoever. No idea. Now, I'm sorry, on record, I don't use figures in my games. So this is no use to me. And this is going up to my daughter, Saffron. See what she can make of it. Intriguing. A battle mat, which again, I don't use figures. Battle mats are always kind of useful, just for scenery, I guess. But I don't use them. But the fact that I think it's an 8x8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's an 8x8 square grid. So I always throw a chessboard on it. So there's that. Bittersweet Cottage. This is a pop out and place. It looks actually really good. It's a quality sort of stiff card, kind of like the stuff they make GM screens out of these days. This I will keep. Not because I have any intentions of using it for a game. But because I think it will look nice up on one of my shelves as a little model. So I'm quite happy to have that. Hit Point Press presents Humblewood, the Heart of Daco. And also, Big Bad Booklet, Zara Harlow. Intriguing. I've not looked at these at all. Okay, so it's for 5th edition, which makes it completely useless to me in terms of stats. However, one of the nice things about any sort of RPG, particularly something as generic as 5th edition, is the fact that if you're using a different generic system, which I often do, there's nothing to stop you taking the ideas out of any of these particular things, and this is something that's going to come up again in there, and taking them and using them in your own game. So if you don't use 5e, and yes, there are people out there that don't use 5e, these can still be useful just for strip mining for ideas. Level 1, the Free RPG Day Indie RPG Anthology. The indie RPG scene is a diverse, fascinating and vibrant part of the tabletop RPG community. 9th Level Games has again brought together a few choice games from the world of indie RPGs. Some of the games inside are silly, some are serious, some can be played solo, and others meant for a table. Some use dice and one used tarot cards. What they all have in common is a unique and interesting take on the hobby that we all love. Inside you will find ready-to-play games about wild animals at a drag show, ancient spectres haunting a necropolis, building cities out of dice, emotional robots, half-orc arrowhead rites, facial reconstruction for veterans, vampire masquerade balls, weird cult initiations, power brokers across the many eras of a city, fairies trying to escape the wild hunt, bumbling villains against comic book do-gooders, mythical crones facing mundane life, and even a game about taking a pleasant walk with your friends. Some of those ideas do not appeal to me at all. Some of those ideas appeal to me enough that I want to keep this. Because again, I may not use the rules, but the idea of the scenario I could then strip mine and use any rules that I do have. So these are good for that. Fabula Ultima, TTJ RPG, clearly based on all things JRPG. Fabula Ultima is a tabletop role-playing game inspired by JRPGs, the Japanese video game RPGs. In Fabula Ultima, you and your friends will tell epic stories of aspiring heroes and fearsome villains, set in fantasy worlds brimming with magic, wondrous places, and uniquely bizarre monsters. Press start as Fabula Ultima's ready-to-play introductory scenario. A complete tutorial that will plunge you into a tale of bravery and memorable characters. All you need is the courage to fight for what you hold most dear. JRPGs do not interest me one jot. However, I know people who do enjoy JRPGs, so they might be getting that. Free RPG Day 2021 adventure for Iron Kingdoms, An Echo in the Darkness. That's a nice ominous cover. I like that. This goes back to what I was saying about strip mining. Obviously, I don't own Iron Kingdoms. I've got a lot of games that would cover this quite happily. So, again, it's 5e, but it can be strip mined for Savage Worlds, True 20. Plenty can be done with that. Achtung Cthulhu! This is the brand new version, obviously it's a quick start rules, for the new 2D20 version from Modiphius. I have the previous version from that uses Savage Worlds and Call of Cthulhu 6th edition. Obviously, I have no interest in running the 2D20 version. Sorry, Modifius, but, you know, I paid good money for the Savage Worlds one, so I'm not exactly going to not use that. But this has an introductory scenario. That's good for me. Starfinder, the Starfinder 4 versus the Hard Light Harlequin. Do not have Starfinder. Do not need Starfinder. Have Savage Worlds and the Fantasy Companion and the Sci-Fi Companion. I also have True 20. Any of those will work for that. So that's useful. And I know people with Starfinder I could always give that to. Victoriana, Going Underground, steampunk fantasy role-playing in the etheric smoke of Victorian London. I have a kind of mixed feeling about Victoriana. Back when Victoriana first edition came out, it was the exact same time that a certain Victorian steampunk game that I adore, namely Castle Falkenstein, came out as well. And I ended up buying Falkenstein. But this was the other one similar to. Obviously, unlike Falkenstein, this has actually had a few editions. So it was actually, in terms of player count, it was obviously more successful. Which is, to me, a shame, because I think Castle Falkenstein is a really good system and deserved to be far better well known and used and so on than it is. I don't think I would ever go out of my way to get Victoriana because I've got Falkenstein, but yeah, that's going to be worth looking at. Pathfinder, 2nd edition, Threshold of Knowledge. I have played 2nd edition. If you go onto the Pair of Geeks 2 channel, you will see that I was involved in the game being run by Giorgio. Was a lot of fun. It's not a game that I would ever own or ever run. It's not my thing. But, again, got fantasy games that could run that scenario, so going to be kept. Warhammer Age of Sigma roleplay, Soulbound, Reap and Sow. Yeah, this is quick play. I'll have a look through this. It's not something that immediately grabs my attention. Again, I can strip mine it for other systems. But if you are a Warhammer player, particularly Age of Sigmar at the moment, and you're looking to maybe branch into RPGs, obviously they're sort of doing something to cater for you at the moment. Yeah. Again, that can be strip mined. Star Trek Adventures role-playing game quick start guide. Again, never going to use it. I could strip mine this for Savage Worlds and the Sci-Fi Companion, or True 20, or anything like that. But my daughter Saffron is a huge Trekkie. I mean, I can watch the shows, but I wouldn't call myself a fan. She would. And as such, I think she would get far more enjoyment out of this than I do, or I would. So that's going up to her. And I think she'll enjoy it. Epic Encounters. The Hills Have Legs. That's enough to give you nightmares. Web of the Spider Tyrant. Again, this is looking like 5e, which I guess is understandable because it's it's looking like 5e. Certainly the stats say 5e. Again, can be stripped and used for others. I've always believed two things about free RPG Day. One of them is it's a great way for people who have never played an RPG before to see what one is. Secondly, it's a good way for people who have only ever played one system to try something else. If all you've played is, to use the biggest one, 5e, then Free RPG Day offers an opportunity for you to not play 5e. Go and play something else. It's only 3 or 4 hours. If you end up liking the system that you're playing, then, you know, it's 3 or 4 hours has been worth your time. If it really didn't grab you, then it's only 3 or 4 hours. And usually the games can be fun. As far as I know, I mean, the other tables certainly had players on them, so, you know, I think it was down to the obscurity of the system for me. I am not letting it go, though, because if nothing else, I will just take it up to Tabletop Scotland and get players there for it. So the hard work will be used and paid off. But that's the stuff I got. As I say, some of it I'm keeping to strip mines, some of it I'll send up to my daughter, a couple of them I'll probably give to people I know will actually use the stuff, because God knows I'm not gonna. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll be back with another video.